Hey there, this is Chad Garber, and in this video I'm going to do another lead guitar lesson. And this one is a really cool one. You got to bear with me with this because I just recently learned this maybe in the last couple of weeks, and it's hard for me to even explain how to do it. But I got it in my head visually. It's hard to explain to others. So bear with me with this. I haven't mastered it, but I can show you what it is. And then bear with me as I try to explain it to you. By the way, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. And if you want to see at least one guitar lesson in your inbox a week, then go ahead and subscribe and hit the little bell symbol that will give you notifications. I'm not promising that I'm going to do a guitar lesson every week, but that's my goal. And most likely I'm going to do a lot more. So anyway, so this one is, this progression is really beautiful, I think. It sounds like this. Like I said, I haven't mastered it, but so how to explain it? That's the problem. Okay, it's like, okay, the whole thing. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm on a pentatonic scale. Not a pentatonic scale. I'm doing an Aeolian scale in the key of A. Rather than doing the scale 1, 2, 3, like rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Rather than doing that, you do the second note first, and then the first note. You do the second note first of the progression, and then you do the first note. And then you push it up one, I don't know what you call it, one sequence, and do the same thing. Then, like for instance, you go like 2, 1. And you start. The scale actually starts on for instance, on the 5th fret of the E string, right? So I'm not going to play that first. Instead, I'm going to play the 7th fret of the E string, and then I'm going to go to the 5th fret. So I'm playing it's like I'm playing the next note of the scale before I play the first one, and then all the way through the scale, if that makes sense. So it's like 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, and so then I'm going to go to the next one rather than going to. So I'm going to go, and then I do it again. So I go from, rather than go, so I go, and then rather than hitting the 7th note again, like rather than doing this, I skip the next note, and then I play the 3rd note of the progression. So that really is, you skip, the bottom line is, if you summarize it, you skip the first note and play the 2nd note, then the 1st note. You play those 2 notes. And then, so you push it up 1, you skip the 2nd note of the progression, and you play the 3rd note, then the 2nd note. So it's like you're adding the next note of the progression before you play each note of the scale. That's really what it is, but it's hard to explain. You see what I'm saying? So, but it sounds like this. So so basically I'll just go through what the notes are. Like so the low E, you go from the 5th fret. That's when you're not starting. That's the first note of the scale, right? But so you're going to put your ring finger on the 7th fret of the E string, low E, and play the 7th and then the 5th fret of the E string, which is the first note of that scale. Then you're going to play the 8th fret of the E string, and then the 7th fret of the E string. Then you're going to play the 5th fret of the A string, and then the 7th or the 8th fret of the E string. Then you're going to do the 7th fret of the A string, and then the 5th fret of the A string. 8th fret of the A string and the 7th fret of the A string. Then you're going to hit the 5th fret of the D string. Yeah, then you hit the 5th fret of the D string and the 8th fret of the A string. It's like you're taking that 2 pattern, that second to first, and you're pushing that up as it progresses throughout the whole scale. It's like you're progressing by 2-1. 2-1, you know, the sequence 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. You're pushing that around. And so, okay, so it's 5th fret of the D string and the 8th fret of the A string. Then you go to the 7th fret of the A string, the D string, and then the 5th fret of the D string. Then you go to the 4th fret of the G string and the 7th fret of the D string. Then you hit the 5th fret of the G string, and then the 4th fret of the G string. Then you hit the 7th fret of the G string and the 5th fret of the G string. Then you hit the 5th fret of the B string and the 7th fret of the G string. Then you hit the 6th fret of the B string and the 5th fret of the B string. See how it's going up in 2s? It's going up in negative 2s, or the pattern of going second to first, second to first, that sequence all the way through. Okay, so then, again, it's hard to explain in words. I know there's probably actual technical terms and easy ways to explain it. I've never really seen it. Again, I just recently learned this scale, so I'm just doing my best to explain it the way it makes sense in my head. Okay, so then you go to the 8th fret, and the 7th, the 8th fret, and the 6th fret of the B string. Then you go to the 5th fret of the high E string, and the 8th fret of the B string. And then you go to the 7th fret of the high E and the 5th fret of the high E. And then you go to the 8th fret of the high E and the 7th fret of the high E. You can end it on the 8th fret of the high E. On the way down, it does the same concept, except going backwards. So I'll just tell you what the notes are first. So on this one you go 7th fret of the E string. Again, you don't start with the 8th fret of the E string like you should on a regular scale. You're normally doing the Aeolian scale, but you start on the 2nd or the 7th fret of the high E and then go to the 8th fret. You skip it and then go back one. You skip it and go back one. That's a good way to put it on both sides. You skip it, you skip the first one and go back one, and you progress all the way through. So the same thing going down. You skip the 8th fret, you go to the 7th fret, then the 8th fret. Then you go to the 5th and 7th fret of the high E. Then you go to the 8th fret of the B string, and then the 5th fret of the E string. Then you go to the 6th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6th fret of the B string, and the 8th fret of the B string. Then you go to the 5th fret of the B string and the 6th fret of the B string. Then you go to the 7th fret of the G string. And the 7th fret of the B drum, sorry, the G string, and the 5th fret of the B string. Then you go to the 5th fret of the B string, of the G string, sorry, go to the 5th fret of the G string, then the 7th fret of the G string, then you go to the 4th fret of the G string, and then the 5th fret of the G string, then you go to the 7th fret of the D string, and to the 4th fret of the D string, of the G string. Then you go to the 5th fret of the D string and the 7th fret of the D string. Then you hit the 8th fret of the A string, and the 5th fret of the D string. Then you hit the 7th fret of the A string and the 8th fret of the A string. Then you hit the or the 5th fret of the A string and the 7th fret of the A string. You hit the 8th fret of the E string and the 5th fret of the A string. 8th fret of the E string, 5th fret of the A string. Then you hit the 7th fret of the E string and then the 8th fret of the E string. And then you hit the 5th fret of the E string and the 7th fret of the E string. You end on the 7th fret of the E string. And you end on the 5th fret of the E string. I just think that sounds beautiful. I think it sounds classical. I don't know why. So anyway, so that's the lesson. I think one thing I've done, and I haven't mastered this part, but what I've been doing that's really been helping me is I'm using a metronome and I'm going, very slow, as I can do it consistently. And I'll do it from here. I'll start from the F. I'll start from I'll start the Aeolian scale from the F position, which is the 1st fret. And the next one, I go all the way up to the 12th fret. All the way to the 12th fret. So what happens though is if you keep on doing it, your memory takes over. You really do. Your muscle memory. I don't know what it is. Some kind of memory, your muscle memory, or your whatever your fingers are doing memory. It does really kick in because you don't have to think about it quite as much because it's really confusing at first. When I first started doing this, I was like, "Ooh, that sounds awesome," but it's just my fingers wouldn't do it right. So anyway, that I would encourage you to do that using a metronome and keep on increasing it and go all the way up and down the frets. And it won't take very long to get it better and better. I've only been doing this for maybe a couple of weeks max, not even a couple of weeks yet. And so I've already made a lot of improvements. Anyway, so that's it. That's the guitar lesson. Again, if you want to subscribe, that'd be cool. And all that jazz. Again, if you have any comments, you have any questions, or you want me to teach you something, let me know. And otherwise, hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.